My name is Maya. I am 28 years old. I work as a nurse at City Hospital. For 7 years, I saved every dollar. I wanted to open my own coffee shop. It was my dream since I was young. I had $80,000 in my savings account. I never spent it on anything, not on vacations, not on expensive clothes, not even on myself. Every coin was for my future. One day, I met Daniel at a bookstore. He was reading a book about business. I was looking at coffee recipe books. He smiled at me and said hello. We started talking about our dreams. He said he wanted to start his own company. I told him about my coffee shop dream. He listened carefully to every word I said. He said, "Maya, you have a beautiful vision." I felt special when he said that. We exchanged phone numbers that day. Daniel called me the next evening. We talked for 3 hours. He asked about my family. He asked about my work. He remembered small details about me. For the first time in years, I felt seen. I felt important to someone. We met again the next weekend, and the weekend after that. Soon we were meeting every day. Daniel brought me flowers every Friday. He sent good morning texts every day. He called me during his lunch break. He said, "Maya, I think about you constantly. You make my life better." Nobody ever said such things to me before. My heart was full of happiness. I thought I finally found real love. After 2 months, Daniel said something. He said, "Maya, I trust you completely. Can I share something personal with you?" I said yes, of course. He told me about a business opportunity. He said his friend was opening a tech startup. They needed investors for 3 months. After 3 months, the profit would be huge. He said, "If we invest now, we can both win. Your coffee shop will become a reality faster." I felt excited, but also nervous. I asked, "How much money do we need?" Daniel said $50,000 would be perfect, but he only had $30,000 saved. He looked into my eyes and said, "Maya, if you can add 20,000, we can do this together. Then we both benefit. Your dream comes true faster." I hesitated for a moment, but he held my hand gently. He said, "Don't you trust me?" I said, "Yes, Daniel, I trust you." The next day, we went to the bank together. I transferred $20,000 to his account. Daniel hugged me tight. He whispered thank you for believing in me. We will celebrate our success soon. He kissed my forehead softly. I felt like the luckiest woman alive. 2 days later, Daniel didn't answer my calls. I sent him text messages. No reply. I waited all day. Nothing. The next morning, I called again. His phone was turned off. My heart started beating very fast. I drove to his apartment immediately. The landlord said he moved out yesterday. He didn't leave a forwarding address. I couldn't breathe properly. My hands were shaking. I sat in my car and screamed. How could this happen to me? I trusted him with my money. I trusted him with my heart. Was everything a lie? Every word, every smile, every touch? I drove to the police station. I told the officer everything. I showed him Daniel's photos. I showed him our text messages. I showed him the bank transfer receipt. The officer looked at me with sad eyes. He said, "Did you sign any contract?" I said no, it was just trust between us. The officer sighed deeply. He said without legal proof this is difficult. It might be considered a gift, not a crime. I felt my world collapse. Gift. $20,000 was not a gift. It was my future. It was 7 years of night shifts. It was skipping meals to save money. It was my dream. The officer said, "We will try to find him. But I need to be honest with you. These cases are very hard to solve." I walked out feeling completely broken. The first week after Daniel left was terrible. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't focus at work. I made mistakes with patient files. My supervisor asked if I was okay. I said yes, but it was a lie. I was not okay. I was drowning in shame and pain. I blamed myself every single day. How could I be so stupid? How could I trust a stranger so fast? My co-worker Sarah noticed my sadness. She asked Maya, "What happened to you? You look so different now." I started crying right there. I told her the whole story. Sarah listened without judging me. She hugged me and said, "This is not your fault. He was a professional liar. You were just a kind person." Sarah said, "You should report this online. Maybe someone else knows him." That night, I searched Daniel's name on social media. I found his old profile. It was deleted, but I found screenshots. Other people had posted about him. One woman wrote, "Be careful of this man. He took my money and disappeared." Another woman commented the same thing happened to me. My heart stopped. I was not the only victim. I contacted one of the women immediately. Her name was Sophia. She lived in another city. We talked on the phone that same night. Sophia said, "Daniel told me he loved me. He said we would start a business together. I gave him $15,000. Then he vanished completely. We both cried on the phone. Two strangers sharing the same pain. Sophia and I decided to help each other. We created a document with all information. We wrote down dates and places. We collected screenshots of messages. We gathered bank transfer records. Then we went to the police together. This time, the officer took us seriously. He said, "With 2 victims, we have a case. This is now a pattern of fraud. We will investigate this man." Weeks passed with no news, but Sophia and I stayed in touch every day. We became real friends. We supported each other through dark times. Sophia said, "Maya, we should warn other women. We should share our story publicly." I was scared at first. I didn't want people to know I was fooled. But Sophia said, "Our shame protects men like Daniel. Our voice can protect other women." She was right. We created a website called Guard Your Heart. We shared our stories anonymously. We wrote warning signs of romance scams. We explained how these men operate. We gave advice on protecting yourself. Within 1 week, we received 50 messages. Women from different cities wrote to us. Some said, "Thank you, I almost trusted someone like that." Others said I was scammed too, but I was too ashamed to speak. Reading those messages broke my heart, but it also gave me strength. 1 month later, the police called me. They found Daniel in another state. He was arrested. There were 5 victims in total. He had taken over $100,000. The officer said, "You and Sophia helped us find him. Your evidence made the case strong. Without you, he would still be hurting people." I cried when I heard this, but these were different tears. These were tears of relief. The legal process was long and difficult. Daniel went to court. All 5 victims attended the hearing. We sat together in that courtroom. We looked at him. He looked down. He couldn't face us. The judge called him a predator. She said he manipulated vulnerable women. She sentenced him to 3 years in prison. He had to pay back all the money. After the trial, Sophia and I walked outside together. We breathed the fresh air. Sophia said, "We did it, Maya. We stopped him." I smiled for the first time in months. We stopped him. Getting my money back took almost 1 year. The court made Daniel repay all victims. I received my $20,000 back. But something inside me had changed. The money didn't feel the same anymore. It represented pain now. It represented betrayal. But it also represented my strength. During that year, I continued working at the hospital. I saved money again. But this time, I was smarter. I didn't trust people so easily. I built walls around my heart. Sophia noticed this change in me. She said, "Maya, don't let him steal your kindness. Being careful is good, but being cold is not." Her words made me think deeply. Sophia and I continued running Guard Your Heart. Our website grew bigger every month. We added more resources for victims. We created a support group chat. Women from all over the country joined us. They shared their stories. They asked for advice. They found friendship and hope. One woman wrote, "You saved my life." I was ready to give up, but reading your stories gave me courage. I realized something important. Daniel took my money, but he gave me something unexpected. Purpose. I found my voice. I found my power. I found my community. These women became my sisters. We lifted each other up. We reminded each other of our worth. We celebrated small victories together. One day, a local radio station contacted us. They wanted to interview Sophia and me. They wanted us to share our story on air. I was nervous, but I said yes. On the day of the interview, I felt scared. What if people judge me? What if they think I'm stupid? But when I sat in front of the microphone, I remembered all the women who wrote to us. I spoke for them. I told our story honestly. I talked about trust and betrayal. I talked about shame and healing. I talked about finding strength in pain. After the interview, many people called the station. Some shared their own scam stories. Others thanked us for speaking up. One older woman said my daughter almost fell for a scam. Your story helped me warn her in time. Hearing that made everything worth it. 2 years have passed since Daniel left. My life is completely different now. I still work as a nurse. I still have my coffee shop dream. But now I have something more. I have a mission. Guard Your Heart helps hundreds of women now. We partnered with police departments. We give talks at community centres. We teach young women about digital safety. Sophia and I meet in person every few months. We have coffee and talk for hours. Sometimes we laugh about our journey. Sometimes we still cry. But we always remind each other. We survived. We are stronger. We turned our pain into purpose. Last week, I finally did something special. I opened a small savings account again, this time for my coffee shop. But I'm not rushing anymore. I'm taking my time. I'm building my dream carefully and safely. I know it will happen when the time is right. I also started dating again, very slowly, very carefully. I met someone nice at the hospital. His name is Thomas. He's patient and kind. He knows my story. He respects my boundaries. I don't know where this will go, but I'm open to possibilities. I'm not letting fear control my life. Sometimes people ask me, do you regret trusting Daniel? I think about this question carefully. I don't regret being a trusting person. I don't regret being kind. I don't regret believing in love. What I regret is not listening to my instincts. There were small red flags I ignored. Now I pay attention to those signs. My advice to anyone listening is simple. Trust, but verify. Love, but protect yourself. Dream, but stay aware. And if someone hurts you, remember this, it's not your fault. Predators are skilled liars. They study human psychology. They know exactly what to say. Being fooled doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Today, I look at myself in the mirror. I see a different woman. I see someone who survived. I see someone who helps others. I see someone who turned tragedy into strength. Daniel wanted to destroy me. Instead, he helped me discover who I really am. A fighter, a survivor, a voice for the voiceless. Thank you for listening to Maya's story. Have you or someone you know experienced a similar situation? How do you protect yourself from scams? What advice would you give to Maya? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your wisdom can help someone else. If this story touched your heart, please like this video. Share it with friends who need to hear it. subscribe for more true English stories. Click the bell icon for notifications. Remember, you are stronger than you think. See you in the next story.